2008, I had the notion to create a web series. It seemed like that's where things were going in the independent world with YouTube. I'm not even sure if Vimeo had been created yet. And so I had an outline. Basically, it was supposed to just be 6 characters. And I wanted to break stereotypes. So it was supposed to be straight man, straight woman, gay woman, transgender person, and an HIV positive character. And I had never really collaborated before, so I called him Gil and our friend Farhana, who I worked on my first project with, called Wake, back in 2006.
At the time, Sheyne worked at One Life to Live, and we sat in the basement of the studio and just came up with this concept of a web series about these different New Yorkers and their stories and their backgrounds and how they would sort of not be interconnected but connected at the same time. And we sat around and kicked around some ideas and some storylines.
And for 2 nights, fleshed out to be 10-minute episodes, 13 10-minute episodes. Didn't work out that way. It was just too much for us to do at the time. We didn't have the money, equipment, the talent, nothing, right, as far as like the cast goes, when I say talent. And it kind of sat on the shelf for a number of years. That was back in 2009.
And then a few years later, we were going to make a movie of Stills.
So I had always meant to take the Bible that we had written for Stills and kind of turn it into a feature film. So I did that, and it was a long feature film, but it came out a lot better than I thought it was going to. And I started showing it around to people, and people really responded to it. And so then I brought it to my friend Tia, who was a producer in season 1, or became season 1. And I was like, listen, do you want to do this with me? And it was basically, there was 2 questions. We could either wait 10 years and work our asses off for a decade to find funding for a film that's talking about a lot of things that Hollywood doesn't want to talk about, or we could just suck it up and do it ourselves. So we sucked it up. We did it ourselves. We had a very unsuccessful Indiegogo campaign, and basically, while unemployed, I paid for everything out of pocket. And when I finally got it all edited and done, the movie was 3 hours and 25 minutes. Tried to scale that back. At most got about 17 minutes out without the continuity being completely fucked up. If I had taken out any more than that, an hour, 2 hours out of that, nothing would have made sense, nothing would have added up to the other.
The universe conspired to make it a web series after all.
And I was like, you know what, we'll be the first truly independent, full-length, hour-long drama on the web without funding, and we're gonna make this work as a web series.
I like the fact that there's so many different characters. You know, New York is such a melting pot of so many different ethnicities, cultures, sexuality, this, that, and the other, that a show that showcases that, I think, is kind of amazing and something I watch. And you know, when we started this whole process, I was a kid that loved watching TV, and so I just wanted to be a part of something that I feel like some 12, 14-year-old, 15-year-old kid would watch and be like, oh my god, that's my favorite show, it's gonna happen on Stills, I love these characters, I relate to DC, I relate to Rose, I relate to Jessica, I relate to Dylan, you know, and the possibility of that happening was really enticing to me.
I'm big on equality. I'm big on not so much the underdog, just the minority, even though I hate that word, not being properly represented. So it's about breaking stereotypes. We're all equal, you know. This matters because it informs who you are, and the history of where your people come from, it matters. But it isn't all that matters. What matters is here as a person, as an individual, and the family and the friends you surround yourself with, and making sure that you truly know and you truly believe that you are all in this tiny world together, be it the earth, or the tiny world of the room I'm in right now, or the world of ideas you have, the world of hopes. We all have hopes, we all have desires, we all have fears, we all have passions, we all have love, we all have loss, we all have pain, we all have happiness, we all smile, we all frown, we all cry, we all bleed red blood. We are all equal. And the diversity that Stills has is life, and I wanted to show that.
It's just about regular people, you know. Yes, we're beautiful and gorgeous, of course, but at the end of the day, we are people that you could see on the subway, and that's what I loved about the show, is that these are people that you could see walking down the street, on the subway, on the bus, anywhere in New York. And you know, the fact that you get to see behind, you know, the mask that we all put up when we're out in public on the street talking to people or whatever, that fascinates me, you know, because we've all sat on the subway and saw someone and just wondered, where are they going? What's their life like? Where are they getting off? What stop are they getting off to do what? You know, and I think our show does a really good job of just picking a few people out of this huge city and, you know, shining a little spotlight on them.
That's what the world sees, the uniqueness of the people on screen out together. And I tell you, the uniqueness of what's going on behind the scenes. We have people on the show who is their first job, and people who have been in the business for 30 years. And each one of them told me that this is rare. To find 50 people of different backgrounds, and vastly different backgrounds, who love something and each other enough to come back and work for free and bust their asses off because they believe in the message and because they like the people they work with, and for all the different reasons that everyone has listed. It is as unique off screen as it is on screen. And I think for the world to see the equality that's out there, you can relate to somebody, even if it's someone who looks completely different from you. Something in their life is speaking to you and speaking to your friends and your family, and it can hopefully broaden your horizons.
I'd love this to be a show that the younger kids, especially, you know, the LGBT community, you know, this is a show that they can watch and know that they're okay. They're not freaks, they're not weird. There is, you know, in school, high school, or whatever, you may feel that you're alone and no one will ever understand you and you'll never get through. But this show shows that you can have a really great life, full of friends and laughter and happiness and, you know, joy, and all your dreams can come true.